Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, dear. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Okay, viewers, today we have Omer Iftikhar with us, and he is the author of 20 Steps to Writing Articles. Let's talk with him. Okay, sir, tell me what inspired you to write this book?
Uh, I have been writing for various publications of Pakistan for the last 18 years, and during this time, I always wondered that there have to be so many aspiring writers out there who uh, don't know the right process of writing articles. Similarly, I was the one. I mean, 18 years ago when I started writing, I had no idea how to structure my sentences, how to create an idea, how to choose a topic, even how to write sentences that were connected and cohesive. And this was just a surface level problem that I was facing when I first started writing. So I
Right.
thought I conceived this idea of writing this book to share my insights and ideas with those aspiring writers who uh, want to get published, whether they will have to write articles or blogs or essays, and just to give them sort of a push in the right direction. Obviously, their creative process is going to be their asset which they are going to develop over time. But I just wanted to share my experiences with the new young authors of Pakistan. That was the inspiration.
Oh, that's great. Okay, why do you think self-help books on writing are needed to be published in Pakistan?
Uh, the problem with the Pakistani publishing industry is that most of the traditional publishers, they only accept manuscripts pertaining to a specific genre. So
Yeah.
self-help itself is a huge genre. If you look at the Western publishing industry, every other book is a self-help book. Industry experts and practitioners are sharing their ideas through these self-help books. In Pakistan, the problem which I've seen over the years is that industry experts are only sharing ideas either in an academic format, or they are sharing their thoughts in like verbal or written communication, but not as in the form of a book. For example, if a if you take example of writing, for instance, how many self-help books have we come across in Pakistan? Yes, we have good authors in Urdu and English who are producing good work in their respective genres, but I thought, I mean, why not a self-help book that enlightens the readers, that uplifts their thoughts, and that shares something of some practical knowledge with readers. And I think there is a huge room to be explored in terms of self-help publishing in Pakistan, because it is an unexplored territory, and I think more writers should come forward.
All right. Okay, what writing process did you follow for 20 steps to writing articles?
Um, Okay, so the writing process that I'm going to share, it will differ to the thought process that other aspiring writers may have, who are going to watch this video, this interview, because every writer has his or her own formula to write. Just the way
Yes.
just the way you cook a meal. If you're cooking, for instance, achar gosht, then your recipe would be different from your friend's recipe, but they are both are creating the same product. So my writing process was, first I created an outline of what topics should I include in this book. And once I was able to create an outline, I try to create a sort of a chronology in terms of importance. Like, for instance, if you go to the through the table of contents, or the readers who are going to go through the book, I first talked about an idea, because that is something which we conceive
Yeah.
even before we talk about the topic. So idea,
Yes.
topic, then you create an outline, then you create an angle, which is a subset of an outline. Word counts, how many words you want to write for that particular piece, structure, sentence structure, beginning, middle, and so on and so forth. So the writing process was similar to how I conceive an article when I'm writing it. First, I create an idea, then a
Okay.
topic, and the list goes on. So I thought it would be great if I could share my personal experience in the form of a book, so that I would be imparting what I'm doing myself. For instance, if I am not writing fiction, and I talk about how to write fiction, then that would be an injustice to those who are listening to my talk. So first I have to write fiction before I can give a talk on fiction. So I thought the process that I'm using for my writing, I should be sharing the same with the readers, so that I could do justice with myself and with the readers.
All right. Okay, tell me, which target market does this book cater to?
Uh, I've written this book in a very simple language, and for me, it caters to even a 12-year-old child, and it caters to a
Okay.
50-year-old professional, because it's about writing, and writing is a part of our lives. Even school-going children, they have to write essays. They have to write essays and blogs, and um, once they evolve and they go into their university, they have to write personal statements. Then they evolve and they go into the professional world, they have to write reports and applications and letters and whatnot. So writing is a very a very integral part of our life. And with the advent of social media, people share their thoughts through statuses on Facebook. They share short write-ups on Instagram, on their blogs. So it caters to anyone who is writing, who has been writing, or who
Hmm.
will write eventually. So it caters to everyone.
Okay. Okay, you have been a writer and a columnist for over 18 years. Tell us about your writing journey.
It began in July of 2004. I've been writing articles from, I think, 2000 and 2001, but as I shared with you earlier in this interview, that I had no idea how to write, so it took me quite a lot of time before I got my first article published. It was in Young World. It is a weekly publication of Daily Dawn. Still, it's being published, and still I'm writing for it. And so in 2004, I got my first article published. And at that time, I was a bit skeptical about my own writing process, because I was too new to it and I had no idea how to pitch an article to an editor and in charge, how to structure it, how to edit it, how to understand the voice of that publication, so that I could write an article that could fit in their
Yeah.
in their broader sense, or idea. So through trial and error, I started writing for other publications, and I would like to give credit to a cousin of mine. He is elder than me. He's like my mentor. His name is Sayed Hassan Aftab. He's a faculty member at a business school in Karachi, and he has been a communication expert, because he has been part of Pakistan's advertising industry for many years. So he first encouraged me to write, and he used to. I mean, we both used to have this conversation. What if we write on this? How are we going to structure it? What kind of vocabulary we're going to use it? So once I got the foundation of how to write, then the main challenge was how to get it published in various publications. I started out with Young World, and I wrote for other children and youth centric magazines before I eventually started writing for daily newspapers for their opinion sections. That journey was quite challenging, because obviously the the idea, the topic, the message, the vocabulary had to be formal. It had to include my opinion. It had to include facts and figures, and everything had to be just perfect for them to, accept it. So yeah, the process was long. It was tedious. It was, but I'm happy that I went through that process of rejection and acceptance so that
Mm.
I could find my own inner voice. And it has been 18 years, and things are pretty good, mashallah.
Right. You published a science fiction story in 2020. What inspired you to write it?
It was one of my life's dream as a writer. Whenever we read science fiction novels published in the West, in America, and Europe, or whether we watch science fiction television series or movies, one aspect is common. All those aliens or those extraterrestrial beings, they land in either America or Europe. So I thought, why have they never landed in Pakistan? So I thought, okay, if there is a room for them to land in Pakistan, why don't I create one for them? So I conceived this idea of a science fiction novel where extraterrestrial beings land in Karachi, my home city, the city that I know from all angles, so that I could explain the sights and sounds of the city with ease. And the idea came about in, I think, 2011. I took part in NaNoWriMo, that is National Novel Writing Month. It is a US based creative writing project online, and you have to write 50,000 words in the month of November. So I completed this novel in 2011, and I was one of the winners of NaNoWriMo from Pakistan. And then, due to some personal reasons, I couldn't work on that novel for at least 8 years. And I also had a major writer's block pertaining to that particular novel, because I had no idea how to keep the story moving forward. But in 2019, 2018, I think, I resolved to complete that article, edit it, and having it published in Pakistan, because I knew I was short of time. I had to do it. And interestingly, I launched this novel right in the middle of the lockdown in 2020.
Okay. All right. What was one of the most surprising thing you learned in creating your book?
Can you hear me, dear?
Yes. Now. Okay,
Okay.
I'm asking you, what was one of the most surprising thing you learned in creating your book?
Okay. I think there were multiple aspects that I learned about myself. First, that I had no idea I could write a novel initially. I had been writing articles and short stories, but writing a novel requires time and energy, and you have to complete at least 50,000 words to make it a novel. So I think the process of self learning was something that really surprised me, and it is this process that I was able to not only complete my novel and then my second book, but I was also able to impart the same education to aspiring writers during my talks that I have been giving for quite some time. And another surprising thing was the kind of feedback and reviews I got for Divided Species. It was covered in every major newspaper in Pakistan, major digital outlets, and also readers reached out to me, thanking me for writing the article and asking me for tips and recommendations on how to write well. So that connection with myself and with the readers, that was really inspiring.
Okay. Okay, what is your work schedule like when you are writing?
Uh, Typically, I like to write at night. after I'm done with my dinner, because that is one of the most soothing times. Everything is calm, everything is quiet outside.
Yeah,
Or
true.
yeah, or I prefer writing early in the morning, around 7 or 8 a.m., which is my usual writing time when I am at home. And during office hours, it's really difficult to write, because obviously I have to focus on my office work.
Yes.
But I keep a notebook with me, or I use my cell phone to write down points that I come up with, on which I can develop something later. So my preference is either to write early in the morning or late at night, because I want peace and quiet around me when I'm writing.
Exactly. How was your experience with Dastan?
It was pretty good. In fact, I was really pleased by how everything worked out. I know Sayyid Umar Amir, who is the founder of Dastan, for quite some time. And initially, I participated in Dastan's nationwide story writing competition 3 or 4 times in every year. And then I got to know about their publishing process, and I talked to Umar and other team members, Vida and they, yourself, Dia, and I think Rabia. And the process was pretty smooth. It was straightforward. It was simple, and everything was done online. All the editing and all the feedbacks, and I'm sure that with the kind of dedication that Umar and his entire team at Dastan is working, they are going to keep touching new heights, and they will eventually evolve, and they are evolving Pakistan's publishing industry.
Thanks. What is the one thing you would recommend about Dastan to others?
I think their transparent process. They are very particular in doing the right thing, and doing it in accordance with the views, opinions, and decisions of the author. I mean, even if they are going to add a full stop in your title, or if they're going to put a comma in your title, they are going to ask you before doing it, and they are going to provides pertinent points on how or why they are uh, doing what they are doing. So they uh, align their creative work with the thoughts of the author, so that both parties work in unison and there is no confusion in between. So I think transparent creative work is something which I really admire about Dastan.
Okay. Okay, what can we improve in our process?
Um, Obviously, room for improvement is always there. Even if one claims to be the best company in the world, they can, uh, you know, um, move one step forward. For Dastan, I think they should uh, remain committed to the quality and the service that they're providing, and not compromise on it at all. I mean, obviously, in Pakistan, there is a trend that some company or some product, which when it is launched, it is top of the line, but after some time, its service or quality decreases. So I think Dastan should not compromise on its quality and its customer service, which they provide to their authors.
All right. Sir, your video is paused.
Uh, it is working here.
Okay, okay. Okay, if I ask you to tell us three qualities of Dastan, what will you share?
Okay, three qualities of Dastan. First is transparent creative work, which I mentioned. Second is continuous communication, um, which is effective, which is smooth, which is timely. And the third is, I think, their uh, their commitment to giving the author the best that they can do. So these are the three things that came to my mind.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you, Dia, for having me on this session, and thank you, Dastan, everyone from the everyone from Umar to the creative department to everyone. So thank you so much for um helping me publish my second book, 20 Steps to Writing Articles. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, Allah Hafiz.
Love it.